some messages that came through while I was shuffling out this spread for you. So I'm going to go into those messages. There are 4 of them. And then we're going to go into this reading, okay? The first thing that I am feeling here is I mentioned this in the mid-month reading last month, and I feel like you're making a solid gesture of love to another person. And I feel like you really like that person, but for some reason, for whatever reason, I feel like it's really hard for you to see a future with them. So it could be, you might be at a distance. You are practical enough to understand that it might not be something that's long lasting, but it is something that's perfect for you for this present moment, for right now. And so I feel like you and the other person have come to an agreement. For whatever reason, it works for you, even though it might not be permanent, even though you might not see how it's going to work out, 3, 5 months, 3, 5 years down the road. You're still willing to give it a chance. So I feel like no one is being coerced. No one is pressured into making this gesture or accepting this gesture. It's just 2 people who are really in love with one another, and they're okay with living in the moment, for the present moment, for right now. So that's a really, really good thing that I'm seeing for you guys. I feel like some of you are trying to, it's almost like, for you guys, um, fears about exes coming back, fears about having to re-engage with somebody and in a conflictual way, conflict avoidance. And I feel like that same energy coming through for, I believe, cancers. And so I do see a lot of anxieties, a lot of fear coming through from your end about, like, oh, the last relationships failed. And so what's going to make this one different? And so, be very careful about that, okay? It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You go to new things with new energies. Don't bring emotional baggage from the past into existing relationships or new relationships, okay? We're essentially dealing with the same, with different people. So be very careful about that. Some of you might be returning back to a person from the past and making this gesture, actually. But I feel like you both are kind of grounded enough and mature enough to know that it is something that's good for right now. We'll, cross that bridge when we get there. So if problems tend to arise in the future, you're going to tackle them when they come up. Okay, so that's a really good energy overall. The second message that I'm getting for you guys is I feel like there is some concerns about money, and I'm feeling like some major, either like a expenditure, big ticket item, or like a huge chunk of a payment that needs to be paid out for the next 2 months. Okay, you need to renew a license. You need to purchase something brand new, power tools, car, something that is a little bit costly. And so I feel like you're a little bit brokenhearted about having to part with some money, and you're thinking about that future, very realistic, and set a budget for yourself. Okay. Third message that I have here, I feel almost like be careful about mixing business with pleasure. Okay, especially for this month, be very, very careful. Office romance, getting involved with people that you feel like, oh, I might not see them again, so it's okay. And then you see them in your workplace. So just be very careful about that, like clandestine relationships in the workplace, especially if you're not supposed to be dating your colleagues, or even, your inferior or your supervisor. Be very careful. So that's coming through. And then the last message I have here, Scorpios. This rarely comes in, but it came in for another sign. I forget which one. I believe it might be Cancer. And so it might be a water sign thing, so just be careful. Very, very careful about driving, okay? I feel like you're going to be running out and about. There's a lot of things to do this month. The weather is also getting warmer in the northern hemisphere. please be very, very careful about driving. And I feel like it might not even be nighttime. It might just be like, inclement weather, really severe, drastic changes in weather, as well as, like if you're driving around right around sunset, your visibility is going to be restricted, or right around sunrise because of the glare. So be very, very careful. I'm seeing something here about a solar glare, as well as low visibility, and you have that glare in your eyes. Wear sunglasses. Keep a set of sunglasses in your car, and be very careful about driving, okay? So car accidents, speeding tickets, running stop signs, running red lights, for example, please be very careful about that for this month, okay? Mercury in retrograde is not a good time. Third, and the shadow period is 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after. So it's just good to be vigilant. You're very careful overall, but I do sense that coming through. So just, keep your radars on and just be extra careful this month, okay? So let's go into your reading here. So let me just talk about this first. I feel almost as if the past 10 months, so let's talk about the past 10 months. Your financial wealth, your empire has been, building, growing, and things like that. So you've been accumulating money. You've been pretty smart about money, making wise career choices, making wise work choices, as well as taking on additional projects. That's going to bring about a lot of financial abundance for you. The past 10 months, you were at a point where you had disposable income. You started building up your wealth. You started budgeting, and you started, like really taking good care of your money and not spending frivolously. So I feel like you're at a point here where you have enough money to invest, you have enough money to splurge, okay? I don't feel that you are too extravagant with money, but I feel like you understand the value of hard work, and you understand that it sometimes take a little bit of time to get our financial footing. And I feel like you're coming into this month with quite a bit of a financial abundance, but also disposable income and having money in the bank. And I feel like a lot of you are looking at, purchasing new vehicles, purchasing new items. And I'm seeing like vehicles, cars, electronics, bicycles, even, the motorbikes, especially if you have children, or even like for yourself as like it seems to me as like a little bit of a thrill seeking thing that you do on the side, like a hobby, or just something that you want to feel, that makes you feel alive again. There's an element of risk associated with it as well. So I feel like you are planning to divert your funds to do something, either, buying big ticket items, rewarding yourself, and things like that. What I'm also feeling is there are unexpected financial investments, or spending happening for this month, something that you didn't anticipate. So at the beginning of the month, it's not good for you to splurge on anything, okay? So I feel like for this month, there should be a spending freeze until something is like absolutely necessary for either work or for everyday expenses. But I feel like you need to be very careful about not buying anything, especially big ticket items for this month, especially electronics. And so there's going to be some unexpected expenditures, and I feel like it might be in the 3-4 thousand range, okay, up to like 7,000. So just keep that in mind, and try not to minimize, your spending a lot, okay? Just try not to do any big ticket item purchases for this month overall. And with that coming in, it's going to be a little bit difficult to part with your hard-earned money. But you're going to need to, because I feel like it's coming to an official channel. So it's coming from you to an official channel. So either paying back a huge loan, paying back student loans for some of you, paying back like, and I feel like it's going back through like an official channel. So it's money that is siphon off and going back to its source where it rightfully belongs, okay? And so it's going to hurt just a little bit. And I feel like you worked really hard and you wanted to have this disposable income, but there's something unexpected coming through here for this month. For a lot of you, it might just be taxes. If you're in the States, like a heavy cloud over your head, and after you pay it off, you're going to feel very empowered, you're going to feel very free, okay? So the next thing that's coming through and that speaks out very loudly to me is the relationships. So let's talk about that because I get a little bit of a funny message. So first of all, what we have in the relationship sector, and this is romance. Let's talk about romance first because this screams out romance to me. We have here the Five of Wands. This is a situation where you have like this I almost feel like this love-hate relationship with another person. You can't live with them, can't live without them, and there's intense chemistry, strong chemistry, but lack of compatibility. Okay, so overall, you say one thing, they interpret it as another, and they say one thing, you interpret it as something else. So I feel like, the communication flows well. There's a lot of exchange. There's a lot of emotional and mental, connections. But overall, the things that you mean and the things that they mean are completely different. And so, working together as a unit has been quite difficult for you guys the past 5 months, but I feel like things are starting to harmonize. You start to learn how to navigate each other's energy. So, a relationship starts out as like a dance. Somebody leads, somebody either follows or tries to lead. And so, it can create like a little bit of a clumsy energy in that honeymoon stage. And so after 5 months' time, I feel like it's sufficient time for you to know how to navigate each other's energies. And so you're working together as a unit. I feel like little minor annoyances is still in the picture. And I feel like you're somewhat amused by this person because they might be a little bit clumsy. I feel like you're dealing with someone who's a little bit like childlike and a little bit clumsy and a little bit inexperienced. So there's that a little bit of an embarrassment when you have to talk to them about certain things. So that's what I'm getting with this card here. It's not a bad energy at all, and I feel like with it in the reverse, it basically means that conflict is alleviated, okay? Conflict subsiding, you're working together harmoniously and not at cross purposes with one another anymore. And I also feel this element of competition. So I feel like you're dealing with somebody who is a little bit competitive. So for example, I'm getting this message. Um, let's just say that you might have had taken a break from each other, right? And then the other person says, "So how many people have you been dating?" And then you say, "Well, what about you? How many people have you been dating?" So I feel like it's a playful, competitive energy, kind of like that. And there's a little bit of a holding a grudge here, but I feel like it's harmless. I feel that it is innocent. And overall, I feel like there's a lot of harmony being restored, brought back into the relationship. So two people no longer working at cross purposes with one another and agreeing on a course of action. I feel like, once again, you're spending a lot of your time either asking about the other person, talking to the other person, spending a majority of your time interacting with them. So I feel like you are giving yourself to the other person. Okay, you're making sure that they're eating right. You're making sure that they're healthy. You're making sure that they're happy. And so I feel like it's also being reciprocated here because you're giving them this and you feel like, oh, I'm not giving them that much, but I feel like what you're getting back is this. Here, we have the Ace of Cups, which is basically, love handed to you from on the Holy Grail. And I feel like it's a situation where whatever you put in, you're being rewarded tenfold. So this person honestly really, really cares about you. And I feel like you know that, and you feel very safe in their presence because you know that whatever you're giving out, whatever you're giving out here, it's basically being reciprocated tenfold. This is a pretty big cup, okay? And so your emotional needs are definitely met in this relationship. And I feel like you might feel like, oh, I'm just doing the bare minimum, but you're getting a lot back, okay? So I feel like somebody really, really cares about you here, and you're with the right relationship partner, because I feel that um, your everyday activities are basically revolves around the other person. And I feel the same way with them, okay? So this is a very, very good connection that I'm seeing here. Um, the other message that I have here, and it coincides with the driving situation, so I want you to once again be careful. And it's shown up here in the upright position, but I'm sensing that for those of you, the car picture keeps coming up, so I don't know if recently you have gotten in an accident. Expenditures as well, such as car payments, higher rates of insurance because it's a new vehicle. So all of that coming through. But I do feel like around the summer time frame, your financial situation is going to escalate. So it's going to get better and better for you guys, okay? So finances, it's a little bit difficult to part with a huge chunk of money this month, but overall things are, off, okay? So you have some really positive things when it comes to your financial situation. I do feel here there is a little bit of a communication breakdown within your household. So what I feel is like they're saying, first of all, especially if you are living with other people, roommates, even like elderly parents that are living with you, or elderly parents that belongs to your partner. I feel like it's a little bit of a crowded environment, and I feel like you might not have that peace of mind that you're hoping for. So first of all, we have here, this is a card about lack of cooperation, and it shows up with the Three of Cups in the reverse. Three of Cups in the reverse. Harsh words being exchanged in the family environment. So I feel like, somebody's giving someone else the dose of the truth, and they might not want to hear it. And the truth might be a little bit harsh or a little bit hurtful. And I also feel a situation where in the housing environment, somebody is not taking care of their responsibilities. Okay, so if you have housemates, for example, let's say, you have a chore list, and Tuesday, Laura is supposed to wash the dishes, and, she's reneging on her responsibilities. Or like there is a responsibility that clearly belongs to one person, but they're not doing their fair share to, manage their responsibility. So I feel that coming through. Be very patient with other people. Of course, it's really important to remind other people, because I feel like you're dealing with somebody who is a little bit overindulgent. They have the time, but they might shirk their responsibilities because they don't want to put in the work. Okay, so you're dealing with somebody like that in your home environment. I feel for some of you, it might be siblings. I feel like for some of you, very strong siblings vibe coming through here. And roommates come through, as well as I see like, young, like teenage kids, and I don't feel like they're going to be 15 and younger. I feel like they're older than 15. It's like they should know better, but they're not holding up their end of the bargain. And so your instinct is, to get mad. And I feel like that might create defensiveness from their end. And so it's really important for you to just remind them, okay? Say it once in the morning, say it once at night. And then you can get mad if you choose to. But I feel like they should know better. They're old enough, but they're not really taking care of their responsibilities. And especially if you have a tendency of stepping in the past to take care of the responsibilities rather than confronting them with it, they're gonna, expect you to do the work, and just be really careful about that, okay? There's going to be a lot of communication coming through this month when it comes to projects and when it comes to financing. So I don't know if you guys, some of you are in a position where you are looking for financiers. You're looking for people to be on board with a specific project, but there's going to be a lot of discussions. There's going to be a lot of tweaking, refining, honing in on, redoing, redrawing something. So I'm seeing like literally some of you are sitting at a draft table, and there's like, you know, that the carbon copies of something. I see like contracts. I also see like a drawing, like a blueprint for something. It's going to need to be redone. It's going to need to be redrawn so that it meets the requirement. Okay, so contracts, whatever has been drawn up, I feel like it needs to be revisited so that you can move ahead. And I also feel like in your work environment, it seems like the environment is a little bit crowded. A lot of people, too many people involved, offering their inputs as well. So it's going to feel a little bit claustrophobic, but I feel like you are approaching work in a very lighthearted way. And I also feel as well there's going to be a lot of pleasantries in your work environment, interacting with pleasant people, feeling as if you're not going to be too busy that you can't really enjoy, you know, taking a longer lunch, longer breaks, and just interacting with people. So the energy for this month is very lighthearted, and I feel like the lighthearted energy is permeating from your relationship sector. When that is going really well, all the other things in your life don't seem to matter so much, and money seems to be going coming in like a huge spike of money. So I feel like things are going well. So even though there might be this minor irritation when it comes to the work environment, having to redo things and having to, I guess, like I'm seeing some of you dashing from place to place to gather material, okay? So driving back and forth to different work locations, getting materials, but feeling quite good because I feel like um, you have some really good things here in your relationship sector, and I feel like that's making you, you know, whistle at work. It's making you feel quite good. So overall, so that's what I'm seeing here. The other message that I have here for you is I'm seeing some of you are making great strides and great traction in your career. And I feel a lot of it is attributed to the fact that you know how to be very accommodating. You know how to speak to people so that you become very relatable. And I also feel like you know how to it's sort of like put people at ease or make people feel at ease around you. You have a really good knack about doing that. Like you guys are really good at that. Water signs in general. I've seen it with like cancers where they're very, very likable. And I've seen it with Pisces where they know how to connect to other people on an emotional level. But like with Scorpios, when you interact with somebody, no matter who it is, they feel like they're the only one in the room with you. And I feel like you have a really good, like you're apt about doing that, and you do it in a way where the other person feels as if no matter what, you've got their back, that you really listen to what they have to say. So I feel like your people skills, even though you might not even like people, even though you'd rather, you know, work on a deserted island and be okay, I feel like your people skills is getting you where you are right now professionally. And at the same time, I'm sensing that for some of you, it's almost like learning to accommodate other people, knowing how to, you know, make light of a situation so that people are not stressed out, knowing the right thing to say in a specific environment to de-escalate conflict and tension. And all of these qualities are allowing you to rise ahead in your work environment. So they're saying there's going to be a breakthrough, a major, major change happening for you in the career sector, okay? And you've learned the skills to gradually, you know, climb that ladder and to get yourself where you're going to be in a position of power and where you're going to be exactly where you need to go. However, with the Judgment card in the reverse position, there is a little bit of delay. And so I feel like something needs to finish up first, and a lot of it is like a decision making process. It's dependent upon many, many people. So you might have to go in front of like a panel or review board or even a board of directors or even like a major interview process in order for you to get there. But the decision is made between many people. So I feel like there's a little bit of a delay. For some of you, I feel like major traction in your career happening towards major new career move, okay? So wealth is building up slowly. Your emotional life, I feel like some of you might be involved here with another water sign. So this is another Scorpio, a Pisces, or a Cancer, and I feel like this person is bringing a lot of faith, a lot of love, and a really soft, buoyant energy. I feel like it's very soft, and it's very reassuring, and it's very in sync with yours. If you're dealing with somebody who's also different, I feel like there might be that series of like ebb and flow, like a little bit of conflict, makeup, and then conflict, and then you kiss and make up. But I feel that this is going to be a very dynamic month. A lot of different things are happening across the board, and I don't see any major blockages coming through from your end. What I really like to see here is this Ace of Cups, which basically means that, you're going to feel very emotionally fulfilled this month. You're going to feel very proud, is what I'm sensing. You're going to feel like you don't have to push things along, that things naturally flow the way that you'd like. And also, because of these two characters showing up, they might be, it seems like, whatever misconnections you've had in the past, I feel like you're going to be going to either reconcile or rekindle with one another. Okay, so I feel that it is going to be a very good month, Scorpio. So take heed when I mention about the car. That came out very strongly, okay? And I feel like it came out for Cancers as well. So please be careful about driving, all right? So I'm going to go into your love reading. Let me see if there's anything else here. And see what's going on for you guys for love and relationships. I feel like some of you started online dating, and then I'm sensing like you started online dating, and then you're just like, oh, this isn't for me. I'm not having any luck. And then I feel like you're starting it again this month, okay? So if you have done that and you're not getting any luck, I feel some of you are revisiting that. And then I also feel like you have, that same message. You have this love-hate relationship with another person, and it's going to harmonize itself, I feel. I do sense that strongly, and I feel like they're going to make you quite happy. Some of you are in a long-distance relationship as well. I keep seeing that. Yeah, long-distance relationship, and I mean like far away. It's not just, in another city. I feel like somebody's traveling and they're going to be communicating with you from long distance. I'm seeing like, give me just a moment. I'm seeing like antennas. So maybe, electronic communication, online communication, social media, things like that. Sending messages back and forth and pictures as well. Very swift communication, so like maybe emails as well. have a card that fell out of the deck. Okay. I'm going to put these in and shuffle it again because too many came out. Okay. Okay, so it's a little bit of a mixed bag, but I feel like depending on who you are involved with, let me just see here. Well, the good news is I don't really see exes. I don't see exes, which is always a good thing. Okay, so let me talk about the long distance relationship first because that is coming out here. We have here the Two of Wands, and the Two of Wands is a relationship where one person is in the picture and the other person is not. So usually with when I read this card, it seems like it's a long distance relationship, okay? Or one partner is traveling for this month, so you're not in close proximity or close contact with them. But I do feel as if there's still going to be communication, okay? So it's a relationship that's still hanging on somewhat. It's linked up here with the Judgment card. And the Judgment card is in the reverse position. So this is basically you're waiting on them. You're waiting on a decision of another person. And I feel like they might be caught up a little bit too much in their own lives, in their own travels, in their own career expansions. They're trying to find opportunities to better themselves. And so you're waiting on them to get to that next milestone before you decide on the fate of the relationship. Some of you are involved here. I'm seeing here an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And then I see an earth sign, a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn. So you might have these two people in your midst and you're trying to work things out. And I feel like, innately, there's a lot of chemistry in the relationship because what I have here is the Eight of Wands, which is constant, stable, and just really strong communication, okay? And air signs are great communicators, and we have earth signs who are very truthful and honest. And so overall, I feel like there's a lot of communication. There's really, really strong mental energy, a very strong mental connection where you might talk about every topic under the sun. They're very knowledgeable, and I feel like they spark you off mainly because they are somebody who's, despite being an earth sign, for example, they're usually homebodies, but I feel that you are very fascinated by either that earth sign or that air sign, and they bring with them a lot of new things into your life, like new ways of thinking, new ways of believing as well. So I feel like it's not a smooth relationship where it's status quo. They really challenge you to become a better person, to become more well-read, to become a little bit more to like be a little bit more of a creative thinker. So there's a lot of good energies here. It's linked up as well with the devil, and the devil is shown up in the reverse position. And with this energy, I feel like this is a relationship where people don't have to put up a front, okay? You don't have to be shy about how you express yourself. You don't have to be candid. You don't have to hold back. They likewise don't need to hold back because I feel like the communication is very direct, very frank, and there is no pretense in this communication. And I'm also sensing some of you, if you have been involved with an earth sign in the past, okay, so this is a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn. And if there has been any type of codependency issues in that relationship, I feel like if you're involved with the earth sign and they've had like a series of bad luck with their career, they feel like they're spinning their wheels and not making traction professionally, especially. I feel like this is the month in which they're going to feel a lot better about their life. They're making traction in their career, and you're going to be hearing about, the successes, okay? So I feel like you might still be dating this person or might be involved with this person. But it seems to me like they've had a lot of blockages and I'm seeing this energy of like, woe is me with that earth sign. And I feel like they felt like ineffective. They felt like they were being blocked left and right. And so this is the month in which they're going to be able to step outside of themselves and to be able to like accumulate a lot of good luck when it comes to their financial resources, their financial security, their career track. And I do sense because of that, you're going to be deciding as a unit what to do, how do you proceed, and how to work things out together as a unit, okay? If you are dealing here with an air sign, so we have here an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra, and this person, we have the Nine of Cups. So this is a person that is very, very close to your ideal. This is somebody that really cares about you, and I feel like they wear their hearts on their sleeves, okay? So air signs, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, are notorious for not being very emotional. And I feel like you need that emotional connection with another person. However, this person, their facial expression it reveals their true feelings. And so you don't need to have, you don't need to dig deep to know how they feel about you. With this Nine of Cups, is sort of like your uh, whatever is happening in their lives, I feel like the blockages are clearing up. They're going to be able to make an emotional appeal to you or to reach out in an emotional way with you. So if you have an air sign in your midst, they're trying to make amends. Their life might have been a little bit messy. I feel like they might be messy, or their lives might be a little bit messy. They might, be very undisciplined, like I'm seeing overindulging in food, overindulging in drinks, waking up, like sleeping all like really late at night, waking up very late in the daytime. So I'm feeling somebody who is very unstructured, and I'm seeing like messy hair. Okay, I'm seeing somebody like who doesn't really care how they look, so they're a little bit like carefree. And I'm sensing that there is this strong love-hate relationship here, because I feel like innately you might not be compatible, but the person is very just carefree, and you like how independent they are. And so it's almost like somebody that is so different, so outside of your usual type, that you don't know what to make of them. It's like they're throwing a wrench in everything that you believe a relationship is supposed to be. So they're like a major outlier in your romantic life, and you don't know what to do with the information. You don't know what to do with them. But if you're seeing this person, they're checking off some major prerequisites that you need in a relationship partner. And I feel as if they're still emotionally a little shy, a little bit guarded, but they have a great deal of love, and it's going to take some time for them to open up emotionally, okay? So if they are dealing with some turmoil, if they're kind of like messy and, just clutter and things like that, they're getting their life in order. That's what it feels like to me. So you're dealing with some people that are, right on the brink of a major breakthrough in their professional life, in their financial life, in their personal lives, which is good. I feel like you're sticking with this person, they're a good person, so you overlook all the little things, right? So this is a card once again of like overlooking all the little things and not feeling so much in conflict with another person, letting the little things slide. And because of that, I feel like they understand that you're very accepting, and so they themselves become a lot more confident. And when they're confident, they're also attracting very positive things into their life. This earth sign has some is making serious strides in their career, and I feel like they want you they want you to come along with them. Okay, so there might be a move. So if they are at a distance from you, they might want you to move. Okay, and they might just make that gesture towards you. If you're dealing with this air sign here, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, I feel like they're making some serious strides in their own personal life as well. And they're a lot happier and well adjusted. And I feel like the relationship is going to harmonize itself. Which brings us to the future position. I talked about the present, yeah. So which brings us into the future position. And we have here no longer feeling stuck, no longer feeling bound, and knowing exactly how the other person feels about you so that you can move ahead, okay? And some of you, the only thing that's holding you back here, we have here the Ten of Swords. This is a previous betrayal, a situation where somebody has either told you a lie, has been deceitful, has been, has betrayed your trust. So let's just put it that way. And you dealt with this in the past. And I feel like because of it, it made you very cautious, and it also made you very weary about getting involved in new relationships. But I do feel that the people you're dealing with, they're generally honest, but I feel like they had blockages in their own lives where they can't really commit to you because of circumstances, not so much because of how they feel about you. You might have thought in the past that it was circumstantial. um, you might have thought in the past that it was actually the way they feel about you, but you might realize now that they can't commit because they don't know where they themselves are headed. And because of that, I feel like you are dealing with somebody who is very, very fearful of commitment, but there's going to be some breakthrough here about them being able to finally commit to you, okay? And so what's coming through in the future with the Chariot card in the reverse is like two people wanting the same things but have different ideas about how to get there. We have a little bit of a stall energy here because I feel like people need to wrap up pieces in their lives before they can be a good relationship partner to you. So any way that you put it, if you are newly dating, for example, take things very, very slowly. It is Mercury in retrograde, so people that come through during this cycle, especially new people, they aren't everything that they seem. So be very careful about, deluding yourself into thinking somebody's perfect. It's not that you won't meet the right person, it's just you need to be a little bit more careful. What seems very exciting might actually be what seems initially very exciting about another person might be a source of contention and conflict further down the line, okay? And I feel like what might be a cute quality that you think about another person or you see in another person might be might make it difficult for the relationship to progress. So if you are out dating, take things extra slow it down, and I feel like the other person might be pushing for you to move full speed ahead, but I feel like it's in your best interest to try to slow it down. And then for others, I feel like you're still dealing with some. I feel like you're leaving that past person in the past, and I don't see exes and things like that coming back into the picture. I see like new people, and I feel like this is going to be an emotionally fulfilling month, especially for those in relationships. I feel like relationships are being solidified, and there's a lot of joy and contentment and happiness overall and hopeful thinking too, like that sense of optimism in your love life, that's going to be returning for this month, okay? So Scorpios, I do wish you the best. If you are single and dating, please slow down and be very careful. Once again, I'm just going to drill it in. Be very careful about the driving, okay? So just be very careful when you are out and about driving, running errands, etc. for this month. If you would like to book a private reading with me, my information, the website where you can view my availability and book an appointment directly through there, as well as, where you can, the website accepts payments as well. It's in the description box below. If you'd like to donate to the channel, it is greatly appreciated, as always. The link for the donation is in the description box as well. I'm going to try to be back very early for the mid-month reading. Those are enjoyable to do mainly because it's just audio, so I don't feel like exhausted after. To resume, I believe, let me see the date here. It's going to resume on the 10th.